So I've been working on my portfolio, as you guys know, pretty much since I got laid off because I've been applying to jobs now and again. So I have gone through and updated this like in every places where I can. So the only way I could get screenshots of like DC, for example, is like go on Thug Pro and download Larksian's recreation of it, which is pretty one-to-one. It's just like baked lighting, and he added his own NPCs and stuff like that. And there's no cars, and it's not quite the 360 or PS3 version. So today we are going to play Project 8 using a mod that I just learned about called Project 8 Revamped. You download this from here, you extract the files and just drop it into the main directory, and then you're able to play the game at like 60 FPS, which is great. Everyone here probably knows that if you try and play Tony Hawk's Project 8, we usually call it Tony Hawk's Project 8 FPS because it ran so horribly that it was like not even really worth playing. So let's do it. Okay, so here we go. Look at this. Starting screen, Project 8 Revamped. Oh, I do have some songs on here. Aurelius Hemlock. Yeah, this is me playing on a Roland TD-20 kit in my apartment in Los Angeles. Same members as the Amelia premiere, but no vocals. This is also a band my brother was in, Die Young Tex. They had to add a TX to their name because someone else claimed that they had the name first or something. Oh yeah, and this is the band Stasera. I lived with them for a while. Okay, I'm turning this. Yeah, okay. Anyway, cool. That was fun. One in chat, that was fun. Okay, debug options. Here's the sauce. Here's the actual sauce that we need. All levels unlocked. On. Debug menu, there's all sorts of stuff in here. I didn't really get into this. You could see rail display was a debug option that I used quite a bit on Neversoft, where you can see where the rails are that you have like authored manually. So if you like missed a rail, you'd be able to see it easily, like without having to just literally trying to grind every edge of a level manually. The FPS display, I remember using quite a bit. Show vert, show wall ride, show triggers were very useful. I use this all the time. In fact, so often that they were bound to a user select bind. So you could, if you wanted to see face flagging, you just hit select triangle and it would just toggle all this wireframe, and you could see different colored wireframes correlated with different face flags. Blue was trigger, yellow was wall ride, red was vert, white was collidable. I'm in a pause menu, which is confusing. I think you can only access the debug menu from the pause menu, but since we accessed it from the main menu, it's like bugging out right now. If I hit back, I can't go back. So we might have to reboot. Quick game. Oh, hey. I feel like we should make a Creative Skater because this mod also has some new Creative Skater options. Okay, I know that the kid is the only one that has the sun hat available, but I don't like playing with the small scale skater. So I'm kind of into this guy or one of the two other dudes. Oh, everyone has a sun hat in this one? Let's go. Sun hat THPS. Look at that. Dude, wraps perfectly around their chin. Okay, it's already a good color. I'll leave that. What color are my eyes? Everyone answer. What color are my eyes? Okay, the correct answer is blorange. Well, I'll also accept blurple. One in chat if you got a blurple last night. No, I have allegedly green eyes. Can I do hair with this? Oh my God, I can. I need to not have red. Okay, shirt. We just need a t-shirt. Black. Would be great. Not void black, but just like blackish. Oh, there's like a second color. Same thing, maybe, hopefully. Left accessory, none. Fitbit charge 6. And then I don't want any tattoos. Oh, let's get rid of these shorts. Or those pants, whatever those were. Ooh. Cargo pants. Wait, we want some shorts. Oh, cargos. Whenever I see someone wearing cargos these days, I'm always like, are you okay? What you hauling down there? What kind of cargo you got? But I don't think they're actually hauling anything. I think they're just hauling some air. Can we skate Goofy? Okay, good. I guess we'll save. Endo 1. I think we're good. I didn't edit tricks, but I think we'll be fine for this. Maybe we should do career and just see. Is it gonna nuke my skater though? Oh my God, I just did. Okay, let's not do career. I don't know if we really want to do any goals today anyways. Look at that bloom. I remember when this got added, I was just like, why? Dude, look at this frame rate right away. Like, if you've played Project 8 on Xbox 360 or PS3, you would immediately notice how much more buttery this looks. My goodness. Oh, we got to get rid of those impossibles. I'm not gonna, this is gonna be a problem for me. It's such a weird feeling in this game when you grind. Like when you start grinding, it feels like you're not quite grinding yet. There's like the snappiness is kind of gone because they try to make it all fluid looking. Look at this, dude. Dude, we are gaming. It feels like playable. You know what I mean? You can't grind the outside of this ledge. Okay, dare we try the rail display toggle? Is it going to show the rails? I feel like it's going to crash. Okay, it does not show the rails. That would have been super useful if it did. How do you quick turn? Seems really picky. Oh, it's just R1, R1? Whoa. Okay, the front of this school was one of the first things I ever built for Project 8, and I had to rebuild it like 6 or 7 times because the physics of the skater kept changing. Or like come into work and be like, oh, the speed has just been nuked. Or no, we went back to the old speed. Or rolling uphill required you to push. And so it's just like, I made everything very ADA accessible. And even like these, like this used to be half ramp and half staircase. And then it used to come out way further. But then they didn't look like real stairs and stuff. And it's just like this whole thing. And I remember it being just such a problem. That's so crazy that there's like a lot of options in this. Because like right away, I'm like, oh, it just runs well. That's a great mod. Like anything more than that is like such a bonus. What is up with that backside blunt slide, Anon? Look at this. Whatever. It's whatever. I just do a backside blunt slide down the wedge. It's no big deal. Okay, 100% if I try and do this vert transfer, it's not going to work. Okay. It feels like I'm really slow, but I think that's just how this game is. When you're doing only block out or layout, or were you also doing some level of an art pass on it? Block out in itself means no art. It's blocks. So it's kind of a... I think you answered your own question, but I am not an environment artist. So the answer is I never did environment art. Okay, so let's test this fly cam situation. Maybe get rid of the special meter or HUD. Camera angle, Project 8. Whoa, thaw far or thaw near. Whoa, that is near. That is very, very near. Thaw medium. Feels like it's looking down a little too much. No? Interesting. This is so crazy to play. I feel like I should give myself perfect balance because I'm... Oh, it's compiling shaders when I'm in a new zone. Like, okay, so this, for example, the school was one of the first levels to be arted. It sort of got like 8 artists on it at the same time. It was the only level that was close to being ready. I had to sort of rush into it. So it'd be ready for E3. They were going to like show this level at E3 and do like a trailer using it and stuff. And so I kind of had to go hands off super early, but I felt like pretty decent about it. But you know, looking back at it, I wish I had way more time, obviously. But just like a perfect example of how much things changed. If you jump the snack shack, you're supposed to roll down the other end. Like I wanted you to, I adjusted this so much that at top speed you would just roll down the other side completely, but you can see that the physics changed so much that you overshoot it. So that just gives you an idea of how much things changed in terms of like skater physics over the course of the project. How's job searching? I have applied to 4 places and all 4 of them responded and asked for a portfolio, which I'm working on right now. And I had an interview last week that I think went well, but like maybe it didn't. I don't know. I haven't heard back since then. I'm sort of hoping that I get that one so I don't have to keep working on my portfolio. But they asked for it too. So it makes you think it didn't go well because I interviewed last Monday or Tuesday. And it's been like 10 days and they haven't contacted me about it. 100% didn't ghost me. I know that's sort of the vibe. And especially I'm hearing that the job market right now is like the worst it's been since 2009. It's like winter 2026 for the people viewing 10 years in the future. Okay, type a 5 in the YouTube comments if you're watching this 10 years from now and timestamp it so I know what you're talking about. Whoa, I forgot about that. I did this camera and that whole unlock sequence. Maybe we should just do balance meters because we're never going to be taking screenshots during a balance. I remember putting this grind in. Some Andy art right there. Look at that. There's my environment art. Write that down. You can get all gapes and enjoy it. It's funny how far that meme has come and never died. Oh my god. And I remember this gym being a whole thing too. And I had those glass blocks all as individual bouncies, and I had like 50 of them. So you could like do a grab pose through it, and then you could look back through it and it would be like the outline of your dude. It was so cool. But over time, it just became less and less performant. So I had to convert it to just a shatter. And the distance of this pipe from the wall was like so crucial because I wanted a high line, but I didn't want to bump my head on it every time I wally. Chamfer on the wall so you can wall right around the corner. On all the corners. This skate's so much better than the PS2 version. Even though this game kind of feels like sludge. You can make it not feel like sludge in the control options. I'm scared. Is it gonna taint us? Thaw mechanics. Wow. Thaw physics. Air shuffles. Oh my god. Good lord. Oh, we zoom in. Speeders in the chat. Is this because I'm at 10 stats too? This feels so fast. Good god. Oh my god. Let's go. I mean, I know Thaw was a lot faster than Project 8. Pretty much all the games were, but like this feels like a little bit too much. But maybe it's just the difference. Can you break the level streaming at this speed? This speed? It feels like the level streaming is working way better with this mod. So I don't think so. I feel like if I can go here and look at the connection, like look at that beaver sign on the other side of the library. Oh yeah, you see a pop, but yeah, I don't think there's no way you can get there before it loads, I don't think. Crazy how much the physics make me want to make adjustments to the level. Like we're going so fast, we gotta like add more kickers to the ledges that you run into and stuff. Those wavy ledges, dude, the 180 turn is not good. These wavy ledges were a nod to the bunker ledge. And I thought I lined them up so you could do this. Yeah, and do the manual from here. Gentili's ledge, look at that. Who's that guy? How does it feel getting older and critiquing yourself from 20 years ago? About the same as it was like 20 years ago. Because I mean, all this stuff is like, it was such a rush job. Even like after the art merge is like, oh my, I was like sort of just doing this. Where I'm like, oh my God, I can't really do anything. You just have to sit with it. It's like, this was such like a skatable object back then. Because the speed was so slow and the skater was just reacted so differently. I was proud of this. Implementing all those triggers for each of those. And then that you should be able to manual across it too. And I remember I had a printout of the collision and triggers of this piano. I printed it out full color and put it on my wall because it was such a complex beast to optimize, and I wanted to be able to manual across the black keys too, and also trigger each black and white key. I feel like I should go back to the old. This all had invisible collision, but I think I got yanked because it just nuked the collision budget. Like we had to go to collision primitives for the Havoc engine, but I was really proud of it. And we didn't ship with it, clearly. I hate the lack of skater rail land sounds. It just like starts the loop instead of having like a clink sound. But this game just sort of feels bad. It's like the levels are way better than the PS2 counterparts, but the physics are just so sludgy. It just feels gross. And this should, like, why didn't I land that? What the heck? This should line me up for the alley right here. Oh my God. I forgot I added that boost. I think I made it so you can like shuffle and then you could come around here. Yeah. That's a whiplash. I should have made those things bigger so you could see them better. But then I thought I also made it to where you could, hold on, like do this and then line yourself up for, oh, you're supposed to be able to make that. Like get onto the mega ramp from this. Dang. Just gonna go ahead and blame the skater physics changing, but I'll take the L, bad level design, whatever. I mean, how are you supposed to design content if the mechanics are in constant flux? Exactly. I mean, that was really it. Like, you know, if you give me 3 months to build a level and all the mechanics are complete, I feel like 3 months is plenty of time. Even if that includes like art merges and stuff. I really hated the camera transition to and from walk. Whenever you run like a scripted boost in a trigger, the IKs are supposed to line up on that ladder. Or rather the walking animation, but they definitely don't. This is like a standardized ladder that we had to use everywhere. Anyway, what was I saying? Boost. You hear that? Zzz. Like, we would have to put those everywhere in our levels because it's like, oh, 1 week you can make this jump, but this week you cannot. So we'd have to kind of fudge boost where it's like, okay, if you have this amount of speed, at least, then trigger this boost of this amount so you can make the jump. And this was one case where I had to do it. So you could probably hear it, I think. You hear that? That's the boost being applied to this skater. Maybe it's obvious to you guys, but I don't know, maybe not. I had to do that in a few places because it was like, oh, you can't make this giant mega ramp jump. There's like a focal point of the level. And there's also the Jeep factory. He used them everywhere. And you can hear it like almost on like every rail and every gap. It's like kind of crazy. Dude, please tell me that the fly cam works. Oh my God, the viewer. This is the one that we used in dev. All the speeds. Oh my, dude, is wireframe gonna work? Oh no, it doesn't. And you could drop the skater. Oh, that's so huge. Okay, so how do I disable? How do I get out of the viewer mode? I'm so confused. Okay, so this one. Oh, okay, sick. Okay, so now if I like wanna, that's crazy. Okay. Oh, but he rolls and doesn't stay. There was a screenshot mode enabled equals 1, and I think that's what needs to be put on, because that would, like, if you want to do a kick trick in the air, go into fly cam so you can get like a cool angle to take a screenshot for like media or marketing. The kick trick would be done by the time you lined up the camera, right? So they added like a screenshot mode to like Tony Hawk 3 or something that's just carried over to every version of the game. But is this better than nothing? I just kind of wish he would stop moving. I'm holding down so he stops, but he's not. The controls are inverted and it's messing with me. Or rather, they're not inverted. Okay, this is great though. I can get some great screenshots with this. This is huge. The resolution is kind of potato compared to Thug Pro. It's funny. This hill took a lot of reworking. Yes, it did, because the skater speed changed so much. Like you couldn't even skate up the ramps at certain points. And then there was times where you pushed manually, like no auto kick, to get yourself up the ramp. All right, everyone be quiet so I can take a picture. Let's go, Beavers! Okay, that's not necessary. Print screen. I take a lot of screenshots throughout development, but never with the mindset of like, oh, this will be good for a portfolio. It's just like, no, I need to take a screenshot so I can convey this problem or this idea to someone and send it over email or a bug or whatever. Never anything like this where it's like, look at this area. Look at it. Oh, and I remember early on, the artist didn't really have anything to work on. So I was like, we know we're going to want a full pipe and a ditch. So if you want to hammer on that, go for it. And he was like super stoked on it, because usually artists don't really get agency like that. They usually get like a block out and then they're like, oh, okay, I'll just make this look pretty. But when it was sort of, it was almost like not like a political move. It was like a legit good collaboration, because I wasn't good at modeling something like this, you know, especially at the time. He put it together and then we just started making revisions and we were both pretty stoked on it. But now looking back, I feel like it shouldn't have been so tall. I didn't like how this lip did not connect to this ledge or this rail, and this rail's not long enough. It kind of whiplashes you a bit. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna try and stay focused on the school because I built this area too, the slums, but we should not focus on that yet. I want to get in the building, but then I want it to see. I want to be inside of it. Can we change it? Oh my God, we can change FOV. Yes. I've been dying to have the fly cam from development in the release version of the game, so we could do this. Look at that. Maybe there's where we could break the streaming. This right here. How good is this screenshot? Be honest. You guys are like just negging me. It's whatever. It's okay. It's not the best. Increasing the resolution in the settings? You're telling me this now? Oh my God, we have to retake everything. Uh-oh. Is there higher resolution? In the emulator settings. Oh. If there's one thing I dislike, it's doing tech support for emulators while streaming, because it never goes well. Time to see if this runs at 8K. All right, I'm going to do it live. I'm going to hit apply right now. If the stream goes down, 07's in chat. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Does it look higher res? It does, right? Whoa, dude. I mean, the home of the beaver, like this is as high resolution as it gets, but it does look better. A lot better. Maybe it just says beaver on the corrugated metal down there. Look at that bloom in the sky. Yeah, I remember the initial block out of Out School I did very quickly and thinking like, yeah, I'll go back and like fix all this up and make it much better later. And then I ended up kind of leaving most of it. Oh, I guess that serves me right. You know, when like a program doesn't respond and so you have to Control Alt delete it, it feels like you're taking a pillow to it and like suffocate, like go to sleep, like you're forcing it to. Never mind. Okay, so what did we do? We need display options off. Titles. Oh, is this the debug speedometer? I would love to see that. Hold on. It'd be 800 years since I've seen that. Oh my God, dude. I feel like this doesn't show everything there. I remember it showing 3 numbers, not just 1. And it was at the top left of the screen. Maybe I'm thinking of Proving Ground. Wild. Okay, anyway, let's get that out of there. Yeah, the numbers may have been coordinates. I don't think so. I think it was like the amount of friction and like something else. I can't remember. I want to say something to do with like vert speed or something. Can't grind that. Literally unplayable. Oh my God, the squirrel! I remember doing this. Wow. There's like a trigger volume that you enter that triggers this squirrel to just run in the picture-in-picture and go up the tree. Why did I do that? Why did I spend time on that? Wait, what? Oh, it's locked. That's why I couldn't grind it, probably. Can I grind it now? Yes. Okay. That wouldn't be like me to miss a grind like that. Okay. We are back. We are so back. I was trying to get a screenshot of all the levels that I worked on so I could like red pen it and be like, circle the area that I did and like highlight it, or rather omit the area that I didn't. But so I worked on the initial block out of Crete Park, which I should probably take a screenshot of actually. Like I was going to be the designer of Crete Park and I went on those reference trips and took the pictures and for a week and did all this and blah, blah, blah. And then like schedule shifted, bandwidth shifted. And then I ended up being school and slums. They're like, you're doing slums now. And this new guy is going to get Crete Park. It's like, okay. So I did the initial block out of this. There's basically like an elevation map of the whole world because you don't want the whole world to just be flat, right? And so there's just like a general idea of like, here's where the school is going to be, and there's where the slums is going to be, and here's where the Crete Park is going to be, and all this. And then we have like just these flat, different colored planes. And then it was up to the designers to sort of figure out how to make those work together. And it was so difficult with the skater speed changing all the time. Anyway, so I took that elevation plane and sort of blocked it into like this circular kind of flow thing. But it ended up being way different than the shipped version, which is a good thing, to be honest. And all this stuff up here on the right, I did not do. Like the dirt and trail stuff. I didn't do any of that. Yeah, I think the new guy is not responsible for the full pipe physics at all. I think he's like, this is where the full pipe's going to go. But if you ask me, this looks very small for a full pipe in a Tony Hawk game. Like in real life, it probably is to scale. Maybe. I don't know. After Proving Ground, we were working on another skate game. And I had blocked out 2 levels for it already. And I had a test level too that I was excited about. But Guitar Hero time. Yeah, Tony 10 actually ended up being a battle royale game, which we all know and love as Fortnite. Write that down. Don't you like how in the library there's a book on top you could skate? Doesn't really look like a book though. Man, I remember working on this for so long, getting this to skate well. It probably skates like poop in the final version. It's funny because this grind at the top, I had temped in. Like I had protoed this in. I blocked it out and I made it perfect so you could jump. Here, I'll just do it now. I put it in so you could jump off this. Oh God, I can't even reach it now. What the heck? I need more speed. Jump up, grind, and then land on the downhill like perfectly. So it just feel really good to like do that back and forth. Can I even get up there now? It's crazy. I can't even get there now. This was prototyped with like a prototype like designer materials, like super basic, like one color. And I made this like a book light, and it had like a temp like transparent like yellow non-collidable box that was a little bit transparent. So this was like a book light over the book, but now it looks way different. It's like some weird antenna. It's just funny to try and skate the things now that I remember working, and it's just like, ugh. Because like school got the 8 artists on it, and I was like, hands off, like pencils down, you can't touch it anymore. It's final art. We're showing this at E3, can't do anything else. Then like things change with the skater, and it's just like, well, that's it. Show must go on. I'm working on slums from here on out until that deadline is passed. It's the time where E3 was a deadline. Yeah, it was definitely like a milestone for sure. If it wasn't E3, it would have been something else. It would have just been like the milestone build for whatever you would have wanted to call it. Did it change much between E3 and the level? No, but the game, yes. This level kind of is a worst case. This was like my first level from my first original level from start to finish. And you could skate the interior, the roofs, and the exterior. And there's like all these are horrible occluders. Like you want to be able to stand here and then not load what's behind it, But since this is literally made of glass, it's like you need to be able to see everything on the other side instead of it would have been a sightline blocker. But back in the day, I was just like, make it skate good and not thinking about performance at all. But eventually I did, and I had to do optimizations to make it run, but apparently not good enough. I think it was sort of universal, not level dependent. This pool was also made by the artists, and I just sort of asked him to make changes as like we iterated. But it took a long time to get this together. I remember this being a problem too. Blocking your grind and stuff, and then not being able to connect this grind to this around here, and this grind not existing at all at first. Oh, this was a big part of my design of this level, is wall riding this, going from this ledge, wall riding up and leaving this gap in between the awning and the wall so you can reach the high line. But if you look at Shaba, was it Shaba? I think. Yeah, that part of it, this level, they extended the awning to the wall. So there's all these like big, beautiful walls that you can wall right up, but they just stuff you and you can't get up the thing. God, the bounce meter improving now was such an embarrassment. I remember that being the last, like I was like, this bounce meter is stupid. Why is it so huge? Why did we need to change it to begin with? This does not feel good. It's really, you can't really tell, like the degree of granularity is less. So you can't tell if you're about to bail or not. And then production just kept pushing back and saying, well, you're just like so good at the game. It doesn't even matter, blah, blah, blah. Everyone else loves it. And it's just like gaslighting to me into like, basically just like my opinion didn't matter. I got that a lot because, I was like a different level of skill of everyone. So what I had to say was like not really useful a lot of the time. So slums was a second area I worked on. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but this was my band logo that someone snuck in here. I didn't even ask them to do that. They just grabbed it. This is something like I wish that these houses were really tall buildings, but they wanted like a darker version of the suburbia level, like the houses level. And so they just wanted like a rundown, super slummy house. And like same thing, like I wish these were more big and broader strokes, not these kind of small to scale houses. It was just hard to make them fun and interesting. So I try to have something different about each of them with like scripting. I'm pretty sure these all break, right? And then this one, the balcony falls, I think. Does it not? What happened to that? There it goes. And then this one had a thing where the thing would break. Okay, and then this one, someone would just throw a random object out at you. There's like 10 of them. And the picture-in-picture camera would come out. It's just like a random physics object. Hey, the sound used to link up on that. What the heck? These used to all be breakable windows. Did they still do that? It's relegated to a goal because one morning it crashed the build and no one could run the game because the amount of breakable glass on this building was like, whatever, count all the glass. It was like 250 or something. It's the classic challenge. Yeah. So they brought it back specifically for that because it was like manageable. The Slums Mega Ramp comes from the early proto. It matches up with the one from the speed demo. I don't think so because that prototype video, I'm pretty sure, was like months before Slums even started. But I remember watching that video and thinking, we need that in the game. And that was a reason for putting it in here. You could hear all the boosts though. 3 boosts, literally placed in the air. Or maybe it's one boost that's like has a weight on it. So if it does have a weight, then that means you'd be able to go into walk and still get the boost. No, there's no weight. These triggers are in the air. It's funny. I remember I used to want this to be a fruit stand right here. So when you grind this, you knock it over and like all the fruit comes bursting out. Oh yeah, can I still get up to these ledges up here? Oh my god, you can. Look at that. I used to be able to get into this school before it was unlocked by doing that. I remember having to give this rail, like literally save that wire as an FB or whatever it was. And then I had to give it to the shop's designers. Like, can you put that rail in your level? Because I'm sick of not having a rail to grind when I go through that teleport. Did Activision get cheap after a while? When is any business not cheap? It's crazy to think that, isn't it like Cisco, it's like the same food you get in schools and hospital is also the ones you get in prison and also like airplanes. It's just so gross. Whenever I see a Cisco truck parked somewhere, I'm just like, pass. Oh my god, the shipping and receiving. Look at those boxes. So those boxes, I got some pushback for that. I was like, but it's so cool. Can you see them disappear and create? Yeah. Here's what I liked about this is that they were rigid bodies. They were Havoc objects in this game. And like all I was doing was like spawning them at a node on a loop. You spawn one, you wait like whatever it is, 0.5 seconds and then spawn the next one. And then I was adding a rigid body force on Y and X or Z or whatever it was. Just a certain amount of rigid body kick with a tiny bit of randomness. Or no, I don't think it was random. I think it was just spinning within a random range. And so they would all it would do is like spawn, rigid body kick up and over just a little bit, just so it would line up here. So this was physics based. It wasn't like on a path. This is the longest grind out of any Tony Hawk game. Stretches 3 zones. Oh, and it's playing the rolling noise instead of the grind noise. That's nice. Let's fix that. There we go. Oh, we're gonna have to jump and grind more on this uphill. I don't think we're gonna make it. The longest grind. There it is. Dude, we're real gamers now. Oh my god, this start spot. I remember this being the source of so many of my whenever the game would crash in development, it would take a screenshot just in case, like, you know, for your records. And I had so many screenshots saved locally of right here because it's like where I set my starting level to be. The game would crash so many times on launch throughout the project. Y'all made this a lot more fun, having some company and just goofing around, hanging out, playing Nintendo with me. I appreciate you visiting with me while I play Tony Hawk's Project 8 Revamped. And yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate you being here. Join the Discord. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, and YouTube. I appreciate y'all. All right, bye everybody. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Neom.